Alrighty, guys, welcome to the Task Leads podcast. So, as I said yesterday on a story of mine, this is going to be the podcast. I'm going to start at 6 o'clock every single morning, 5 days a week. So, what is this podcast actually going to be about? It's going to be about just built specifically for earth movers, landscapers, and concreters. Uh, the reason why I want to help you guys out is because you're my people. You're the people that I understand. I've been you guys for all my life. You guys that don't know much about me, I'm actually fourth generation in earth moving. So my great grandfather, they used to work out there. They've done a lot of work out in the hills, in the quarries and stuff like that. Actually, a lot of history in that. Some of the stories I used to hear were quite astronomical, like the used to roll start the old drop at the back of the tipper because the starter motor would shit itself. So they just run the drop down the ramp of the tipper body, and that would roll start it, and that's how they'd get working. So I do have quite an extensive background in earth moving. My my favorite thing is moving dirt. I absolutely love it. It's sort of in my blood. There's nothing better than the smell of topsoil getting stripped in the morning. Just a funny thing, but I absolutely love it. So where I come from, well, I've been operating now I started when I was 5 or 6, just old enough to reach all the levers. So we had a PC40-6, and in that machine, it was an absolute shitbox. Now, I run that right up till I was about 19 and decided at 19 I'm going to put this to professional work and sink a bit of money into it. Worst idea ever made. So that just gives you a bit of an idea of where I come from, how I got to this position. But really, what this podcast is going to be all about is trying to help out people that are starting a business. All right. So I find the biggest issue with a lot of people in business is they make every mistake. How do I know this? Because I made every fucking mistake in the book. Like, there was not a single mistake I didn't make. I quite literally made every single little stupid mistake that there possibly could be. Um, from like I think the reason this happens is because I don't know about you guys, but when I first got into machine operating, this is how it sort of worked. It's like, all right, you start at the bottom, you work your way up, you become like in the end, I become final trim on a dozer and sort of doing a bit of digger work and stuff like that. I've never been that good on a digger, but more of a dozer operator. Um, but yeah, what happened was they're like, oh, you should go start a business. You're a good operator. It'll naturally find you work. It does not in the slightest. Like, there is no ifs, buts, or maybes about it. The worst thing that people can say to people is like, oh, you're good at an operator. You should be a businessman. A lot of the time, it takes nearly it takes nothing to buy a machine and think, oh, I'm going to become a businessman. You don't know any of the skills to business. You don't understand tax. You don't understand. Like, I got caught out on BASs. I got caught out on what I can and can't claim. I got caught out on PYG. I got caught out on everything you possibly could. I made every mistake in the book. And that's just what I did. So how did I eventually improve? Well, I got sick to death of just making mistakes. So what I done was started doing courses in how to learn how to do business better. I learned how to do marketing. I learned how to do sales. I learned how to quote better. But I found every course that I ever done left holes, right? It was sort of built for the wrong person. It was not built for me. It was not built for my business. It was not built for my industry. So that's sort of where I found was a major fuck up in a lot of the courses. Was quite literally, it was like, oh yeah, cool, this course is designed for coaches, it's designed for this, it's designed for that. It was never designed for earth moving, and it was specifically never designed for earth movers that don't want to be like, hey, I see what everyone else is doing down the road, which is like a yellow pages copied, yellow pages sort of thing going on. Like, it's like, oh, we're advertising like we're in the yellow pages. I have a 5 tonner. It is X per hour. I can do this, this, and this, and this, and this. And oh, yeah, cool. Hire me. Please hire me. That is the worst way you could market a business, because all it makes it look like is, oh, so there's a 5 tonner here. He's 70 or $80 an hour. And there's a 5 tonner here and he's $110 an hour. Well, every day that $80 an hour 5 tonner is always going to win. So that's sort of the main reason why I wanted to start this, is to help cut that crap out. It's what holds a lot of businesses back, not understanding why you're failing. I literally had no choice. For you guys that don't know, I had a period in my life where I actually become homeless. It was actually probably one of the darkest times of my life, where I had to live in a swag. In that swag up on a hill in Jumbuck, anyone knows what it's like. It is freezing cold. There is no cold that you can experience when you're wet, cold, and it starts to snow. And you're just sitting there in that swag, just thinking, what am I doing with my life? And it was that moment there that I decided that this can't be the way that I run my business, or this can't be the way I do this. So I sort of sat down, I looked at everything, and I thought, well, how can I change this? And that's the lessons that I want to help someone with. I don't know if anyone's going to like this. I don't know if anyone's going to watch this, and that's completely fair enough. But I do want to really know what I could do to help out someone who's really trying to strive for a better business, or they're getting started in business and just need the help. Am I perfect at business? No, no one is. Like, there's a lot of businesses out there, massive businesses, that make mistakes. But if I can shortcut 10 years of making every mistake in the book down to 6 months for someone, then that's going to be something that I really, really enjoy. So I guess for me, that's what this is all about. Is it's the 10 minutes in the morning that I can help out someone. So what I want you guys to do is really interact with me. I want you guys to drop comments. We're going to actually make it that you can call in eventually. I'm working on that. I'm still not overly tech savvy with this part, so I'm working on that part. I really want to make it that you guys can get the help when you need, and you can ring in, say, hey, Chase, I've got this question. What's your thoughts? I'm going to answer the best I can. Will it always be right? We'll find out. But the big thing is, I really wanted to start my content creation. So I done content for 3 or 4 years with earth moving. As you guys know, Chase the Dam Man. If you don't know, that's fair enough. But yeah, I started my content journey with building dams. Well, actually, if you go back far enough, I was doing horse arenas. So for me, it was, I just wanted to document as I built. And a lot of people have followed me all the way through. And it's really impressive to see how many people follow you from like start to finish. But this is the next chapter in my life. And I really want to document every part of this and help out as many people as I can along the way. Because there isn't people that talk about this point in business now. There's a lot of people out there that talk about business, and it's super helpful. But there isn't people that talk about business in earth moving, what the struggles were, what the problems were, where you went wrong, what you'd do better next time. That is something that just doesn't exist in my opinion. So yeah, 6 o'clock every morning, I'm going to jump on and we're going to answer some questions. You guys can drop comments in the chat. I do believe it should go through to StreamYard, because I've got like this app that shares across all platforms. But yeah, we're just gonna run through some questions, and yeah, I just wanted you guys to understand exactly what this is all about. But I want to talk a little bit about, what made me do this, right? The biggest thing that made me want to do this is I was sick to death of being broke, and I really wanted to make a change for the better. So I guess for me, it's really all about what can I do to help out someone else in my shoes that was 10 years earlier. I was super, super young and naive when I went into business. I was terribly dumb. I made so many mistakes. The mistakes that we made were, let's just run off the top. One of the biggest mistakes I ever made was underpricing. So I remember I looked at, when I first got into business, I went and looked at how much everyone was charging for a D5N. And I thought, I'll do it for $10 an hour cheaper. Because it was quite literally advice I would get from people. is like, oh, you got to start low so that way you can get into the industry, and then once you're in the industry, then you can start charging more, but you've got to start low because that's what we're taught. We're taught to compete on price, and the first thing that happens, you make no money. You make no money for a long time. I reckon for the first 12 months of me being in business, I reckon I would have lost close to $100,000. And I think every business owner goes through this stage of growth. They really do. They go from like, oh, we're making nothing to, oh, we're still making nothing. And then eventually they're like, oh, well, I can't charge that little and make money. Because in your head, you do the maths. You're like, oh, $140 an hour, because that's what I was when I first started the D5. So you times that by, oh, I'm going to do 60 hours a week because that's what I do in my job. And before you know it, you're like, oh, yeah, mate, look at all this money I'm going to make. But no one tells you that that never happens that well. It never happens that easily, right? You might have a thought like, oh, I'm going to make X amount per week and I'm going to be a millionaire in a year. But then reality kicks in. You've got servicing, right? Every time I'd service my dozer, it was fucking $3,000, and I did the services myself. Then you find out that you're not just an operator now; you're the mechanic, because you can't afford to have a good machine, or you can't afford to have like Pertec hydraulic pneumatic come out all the time. So now you're an operator, you're a businessman, and you're a mechanic, right? Then it's after that, it's like, oh, okay, well, I realize now that one machine isn't enough. So then you're like, okay, I'm going to go buy another machine. Then you realize you're an operator, you're a mechanic, you're a businessman, and then you're also now another mechanic for another machine. So you've got all these things going on, and you're just making a lot of fuck ups. So I guess I want you guys to drop down some comments below on this video, because obviously it's going to come out today. And let me know what you found valuable. Let me know what you didn't find valuable. Let me know anything that you would like some advice on tomorrow. I'm more than happy to help anyone I possibly can. So yeah, I think that's about us for today. I think we'll just keep this one nice and short and sweet. But yes, 6 o'clock every morning, fellas. We're going to be on. I see I got a couple of likes, which is pretty cool. A good start. But yeah, anyway, guys, see you tomorrow.